So after about 1,500 hours of use with the Simplex and about 12 to 1,300 hours with the Amphibio, the machine that I prefer to swing around most of the time, and the one that I always start out with first, is the Simplex. The Simplex is an entry-level machine, but yet it's so advanced. The Simplex has very few options, and I have a target out here in the test garden, and some gold. It's a gold ring, 14 karat white gold ring right there, and I have a zinc penny right there, a crusty, wasted zinc. Okay. Lots of trash in this area. So evident. I can be swinging fast like this, just smacking that thing out of the ground like there's no tomorrow. Go over to this zinc penny right on the surface right there. Lots of trash here. Lots of trash. It's so evident with the Simplex. That's one of the main reasons why I prefer the Simplex over the Amphibio. But still, if I had one machine to choose from all my machines, I would rather have the Amphibio. Because I can change coils, I can change frequencies, I can change a bunch of settings on there, and I can change a lot of stuff with this machine. It's very versatile. But let me show you here. My gain is at 89. I'm in 3-tone. I have to go a lot slower here. I have to be paying attention to that. I just swept over that gold ring right on the surface right there. See that? Sure, I'm getting that, pinpointing it, but it sounds like all that other trash. So I'm investigating a lot of that trash there. I'm investigating a lot of that trash. See how that Simplex just smacked it out of the ground like there's no tomorrow? Both these targets here. I have to be paying attention. I'm always having to be pushing buttons here to dial this machine in, to get rid of some of that trash. See? It's still hitting that. That coin is right on the surface. But I've come into many situations to where the Simplex is not performed. Just EMI disables it. So does high trash areas. Right now we're going to be coming out with some smaller coils for the Simplex. So that might just change the whole industry. With the Amphibio, it's all about recovering as many targets out of the ground per hour. Whereas getting the deeper targets, right? Having a detector that's right in the middle, you know, it can go deep, it can go in the water, it can get through the EMI, you can put different coils on it. You want a very versatile machine, and right now that Simplex is not versatile because it's only 12 kilohertz with very few options to get rid of the EMI and get to the trash. With the Amphibio, I'm always pushing the buttons, so it's recovery rate. I want to recover as many targets out of the ground as possible per hour. That's the recovery rate. Sure, I dig a lot of trash with the Simplex, but I'm digging more treasure because I'm digging more trash. The more trash that you're digging out of the ground, the more possibility that you're going to have one of those trashy signals is going to be some treasure. With the Amphibio, I have to swing a lot slower, so that's going to be less targets recovered per hour, and I'm having to push the buttons a lot. And I'm forced to push the buttons a lot because if you don't dial in your machine, dial it in your Amphibio, you will dig that many targets out per hour. Your recovery rate goes down when you're pushing buttons, and your recovery rate goes down when your machine is not dialed in. And the high-end machines, you're forced to push buttons to dial the machine in and make it perform for you. All you do with the Simplex to make it perform for you is push that button right there. Just turn it on. Turn it on and go. You saw that, you know. The Simplex, the recovery rate, the targets recovered per hour is far more than any other detector that I've ever used. you can't even see that coil. It's like a blur. It's like a blur. And all my videos, I have to slow down. I actually have to slow down with my Simplex because it can go so much faster than my frame rate of my camera can pick up. To make entertaining videos, the Simplex does very good. But when I get into high EMI situations or I get around really trashy areas, I don't post those videos because it's just horrible entertainment. With the Amphibio, if the Simplex doesn't perform in that area, I'll just take my Amphibio in that area and I'll get her done. The Amphibio has let me down very few times. The Simplex, so many times. I mean, it's an entry-level machine. What can you expect from a $250 machine? It doesn't have very many options, doesn't have very many settings, doesn't have very many modes, and the Simplex, you get what you pay for, right? If you're starting just to get in metal detecting, the Simplex is the way to go. And a lot of guys know this because it's a very inexpensive detector to get into detecting as a hobby. But for the highly advanced users who go out to really harsh sites, the Amphibio is by far the machine that I would want to have in my arsenal. If I didn't have any other detectors, this would be the Amphibio would be the way to go. Because I have 7 different coil options for this detector, and it's multi-frequency. I can adjust a lot of that stuff. With the Simplex, it's just basic. But the Simplex does have issues with EMI. You get around other detectors, or you get around a high EMI spot, or you get a really high trashy area, like if I'm out in a field and I just all of a sudden I get a bunch of EMI, I'm screwed. I have to go back to my truck and get my Amphibio. And I have to carry other coils with my Amphibio because I still, to dial this machine in, you have to put a certain size of coil on there. But once these coils come out for the Simplex, it may change the whole ball game here. May change my outlook on which detector I'm going to be using, because this detector is a lot heavier. This thing weighs like 3.7 pounds. This thing weighs 2.9 pounds. Once I get my battery pack in there, because I always like carrying my battery pack with me, it gets a lot heavier. Then once you get the bigger coils on there, it gets a lot even heavier. And I can't swing that thing around for 8 hours and not have my arm fall off my socket there. With the Simplex, I can swing around that fast all day long and not get tired. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.